Welcome to Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini Sleep World. I am Zena, joined by the authority on the Golden State Warriors, Monte, Poole, and we are in an authoritative kind of space right now.
Yeah.
We are at Miller and Lux. We're located in Thrive City, outside of Chase Center. Seeing the waterfront views, the beautiful decor. I mean, we are in for a treat tonight. Unlike the Golden State Warriors that lost today against the Chicago Bulls, 122-125. The game started out high-paced, good energy. You thought they were going to repeat what they were able to do against the Milwaukee Bucks last night, but that was not the case. Rough one out there for them today. Monte, what went wrong for the Warriors?
Well, I thought the second and third quarters was where they kind of lost the game. These teams went after each other for three quarters, better part of three quarters. And late in the third quarter, the Bulls kind of started putting some things together, and they had a 10-point lead. Up to that point, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I think the lead changed like 9 times. But in the second and third quarters, the Bulls shot 60%, and they scored 74 points. That's too many points to give up and expect to win the game. Yet, the Warriors found their defense in the fourth quarter and started causing turnovers. They scored 10 points off turnovers in the fourth quarter, 4-6 turnovers. They held the Bulls to 7 field goals, but they got them into the game, got them a lead briefly, couldn't hold on to it. Just too many things went wrong on the stretch. Podziemski misses a layup that would have tied the game. JK bites on a pump fake, and that gives the Bulls a 3-point lead or 2-point lead. So little things like that in a close game, they matter. They matter. Of
course, the game doesn't come down to those one little plays, but the building of them over the course of the game can obviously end up in this loss. I do want to address the fact that at the end of the game, in the very last few minutes, Steph Curry rolled his ankle as he was going to the basket. There is no updated prognosis on where he's at, but as you can see,
that is right there.
He rolled it pretty tough.
Yeah.
How crucial is this injury for the Warriors as they look to try to make a roll to the playoffs?
Yeah, we don't know whether he's going to miss to it. I'm going to assume he's going to miss sometime just because of the way it looks. Stephen has had ankle issues in the past and come back, but it usually takes some time. The question is, how long will he be out? I mean, if he misses even one game, it hurts. But you could be looking at more than that, and we probably won't know until tomorrow. They'll get an MRI and do the X-ray and everything, and have an idea of what happens here and give us a prognosis. But right now, you're looking at a team that has, still 5+ weeks to go.
Right.
And they still have to win some games, and it's going to be much, much harder to win games without their best player, their leader, and the guy who they count on to do so much. Even though he wasn't having a great game, his presence alone makes a difference with this team.
He was having a slow start alongside his teammate, Jonathan Kuminga. But I want to ask as well, remember, the Golden State Warriors still 9th place now in the Western Conference. You just mentioned the fact that every single game counts. If you lose one, you slide up and down.
Yep.
The person that was really helping them out this tonight to be able to stay in this game, Klay Thompson. He is our ultimate performer of the game, presented by BMW. Without Curry and Jonathan Kuminga being able to score, what was the impact that Klay Thompson had in being able to put the ball in the basket?
Klay gave him some life. He gave him some life for a while there, and they needed that. With Steph not getting buckets. So when Steph isn't scoring, you look, okay, who else is going to help out? JK got it going a little bit, but nobody really stepped up and gave him the 30 points they would have needed to try and pull this game out.
Right.
Bunch of guys did, 12 points here, 11 points there. But in the end, you look at what Klay was able to do, and he kind of held him up. He had a big 3 late, gave him a chance there. And but I think this game was lost more on defense than offense. The Bulls got to the free throw line a lot. Moses Moody mentioned after the game, said that he thought the game was kind of dictated by the fact that the Bulls kept getting to the line.
Yeah.
When you let a team get to the free throw line, it disrupts the flow of the game. It gives them easy points. And so you look at that, and DeRozan is an artist at pump faking. He's been doing that for years. He did it at USC. He's been doing it for the Raptors, doing it for the Bulls now. And he has a way of getting to the line, and you do that in a close game, especially in the fourth quarter where he got to the line, I think, took 4 free throws in the fourth quarter, made 3 of them. But the Bulls made 10 free throws in the fourth quarter, and they took 14. So in a close game, when you have guys that are getting to the line like that, it stops the clock. But more importantly, it stops the flow that the Warriors are trying to build, because their defense was creating those turnovers, and they were getting that fast pace you want to get into, getting easy buckets that way. But it wasn't quite enough to hold off in the end there. Again, big plays. And so whether it's Klay getting buckets, you needed somebody else to step up and give you a little bit more than you were getting. So it's one of those nights.
Yeah, it was one of those nights, particularly for the third quarter Warriors. You usually think about them coming out like gangbusters, coming out of the second half, and they were able to have some defensive stops. At one point, the score was 18-11, being able to hold a team that was shooting phenomenally from 3 to just 11 points. But then when you look up, and it ended up 38-28 in the third quarter. What did you see really contribute to the downturn in the third quarter?
I just thought the defensive energy wasn't where it needed to be. Draymond will probably say it was his fault, and that's not fair. But he tends to do that. But when you look at the team's defensive energy in that third quarter, especially late in the quarter, the final couple of minutes of that quarter there, where they kind of pulled away, the rotations were a little slow. The Bulls kind of picked them apart. And, the coaching staff likes to use this phrase, make them feel us. And they didn't make the Bulls feel them.
Yeah, their presence wasn't
during
there.
That stretch there. And so, when the Bulls went up 10, you knew it would be tough for the Warriors to come back, and they managed to do it. But when you fall behind by 10 points and late in the game like that, getting back into the game takes so much energy. So to get back into the game and winning the game is so hard to do. And again, they almost did it. They almost found a way, but they couldn't quite get there. And to me, it hurts for a couple of reasons. Coming into this game, the Warriors are playing so well. 12 of 15, they've won. They have been over 500 now for 3 weeks. Yes, they were on a back-to-back, but so were the Bulls.
Yeah.
The Bulls had to travel to get here late last night. And the Bulls haven't been over 500 one day this season.
No.
They're a sub-500 team, or 500 at best all season long. So this was a game, if you're the Warriors, you're thinking, we got to get this game. They didn't get it. They got the game last night. It was a tough game, but you would have wanted to sweep these two games.
Now, let's talk about that comeback, because you did mention that. And in the fourth quarter, there was a person behind it, Moody. With some key and timely buckets. He ended up with 6 points in that quarter, but it was the time of those 6 points and the way that he got them off of offensive putbacks, being able to run in transition. You love to see the tenacity. What did you like out of the way that Moody carried his team back into this game?
Yeah, that the defensive energy, there he is right there with the turnover. The defensive energy that wasn't there in the third quarter showed up in the fourth quarter, and kind of Moses was in a big part of that. He always brings energy, but he's out there creating turnovers. He's causing turnovers, and so when you can get steals in the fourth quarter of a close game, it can swing the game your way. Right. And it did for a while. It helped them catch up and get a little bit of a lead. They had a 3-point lead with 3:35 left to play. But again, that against a team like the Bulls, who you would think would fade down the stretch because they were on the road last night and they traveled in here. But they are a tough team mentally. And DeRozan is one of those guys that he's a closer. And Vučević had a big night, 33 points for both those two guys. And so you look at what the Warriors did to come back in this game, and if they had played that way for more of the game, they would have been able to, Steph may not have even been out there in the fourth quarter if they had played that way more of the game.
It seemed as if there was an issue with the ability to not only guard DeRozan's driving up the middle and being able to pump fake and bait them into fouls, but then also the struggle to guard Nikola Vučević.
Yes.
Just being able to say, hey, you're an athletic big, we're going to keep you where we want you on the floor.
Yeah.
But he was able to score at will all around the court.
Yeah.
When you think about the Warriors' defense and what they need to be able to do in order to get to the playoffs and the play-ins, they're going to have to play against guards like DeMar and bigs like Vučević.
Yes.
What is the answer for them?
Wow. Well, DeMar is unique in the way that he's a mid-range master.
He is.
He made a couple of threes, but he mostly operates in the mid-range. But that's a key play right there. He gets JK in the air, and again, he is so good at it that he can get a veteran in the air. Just because JK's young, it's not like, well, that's a young guy mistake. No, he can get 10-year veterans in the air, and next thing you know, you got a three-point play, and that's what he got there, the bucket and one.
Yeah.
So there's only a few guys like that. Devin Booker can be the same way, but he's out for right now. There's other guys the Warriors will see. Vučević is one of those bigs that can shoot.
Yep.
You know, he doesn't hurt you. He doesn't defend very well, but he's always a threat to score.
Yep.
He's hurt this team before, hurt the Warriors in the past before, and tonight, you know, they were sagging off of him, which is a risky bet because he can shoot the three.
Even in the mid-range, they were daring him to shoot. Yeah,
he's a tough cover, and so for Draymond, it's a physical mismatch because Vuce is so big, and for Trace, it's a lesson basically. This is what, you won't see many guys like this, but here's one. You learn it and you walk away.
And you've got to have some variety in the way that you approach his game.
Absolutely.
And the games across the entire Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, and the Warriors Steve Kerr's philosophy on defense is generally, you know what, let's do this. So.
We do have some breaking news here. Draymond Green saying in his post-game press conference that Curry's spirits are high, but adds that it sucks for him to go down, him being Curry, of course. Says he thinks Curry is getting an MRI. So that's the closest we have to an update in terms of Curry. Of course, you want to see Curry's spirits high. You want to see him being positive, but he's the leader of this team. Do you really expect anything different?
Well, I mean, Steph has had so much experience with ankle issues to where he has a pretty good idea of how bad it is.
That's true.
And if his spirits aren't high, usually he'll say, this is, just a tweak. It's a tweak.
Yeah,
a tweak or whatever. So this is, I'd say brace for something here.
Okay.
This, again, you don't want to jump the gun, but I would think if you're a Warriors fan, brace for the worst and hope for the best.
Okay.
Because right now, we don't know. The MRI will tell us what you have, but talking about 21 games to go, 5+ weeks. If he misses any time, I mean, that's what's been the issue for these teams in the West.
Okay.
Devin Booker, out, ankle injury. Russell Westbrook.
Even Wemby out.
Yeah, Wemby's out.
Yeah,
Russell Westbrook, the Clippers, out until the playoffs. So this is a big point of the season where you want to stay healthy, and the Warriors have been so good. They just got back to full squad status, and now you're looking at this.
All right, well, we're going to have you all brace yourself on the other side of this break. We're going to be back with more surprises from Miller and Lux, and we got to talk a little bit more about Klay Thompson and his role in just coming off the bench and doing a lot of this. Splash, brother.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit us during our spring clearance sale. Save big on premium mattresses, plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Dry aged tomahawk. 46 ounces of beautiful
Truffle fries?
Yes, exactly, our Parmesan truffle fries. And then we also have our Yukon Gold potato puree, topped off with extra virgin olive oil and chives. And this is our tried brassicas on a bed of broccoli pesto.
Okay.
We have a little bit more for you, though, still.
Okay.
We serve the steak. We serve our steak with a bone marrow chimney that also has some garlic puree in there. And then we have a house-infused garlic and herb olive oil that we spread over the steak when we serve it.
YouTube, we are being treated like royalty here at Miller and Lux. Ariana, our friend here, and I didn't even get your name, sir.
That's okay. My name is Joe. I'm Joe Murray. Hi.
Joe Murray. Nice to YouTube. We're just getting treated so well.
Oh, there's more.
Wow, what? There's more? Okay. I don't even know if we're going to be able to talk basketball right now during this break. We will get to you all, don't you worry. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We are at Miller and Lux, that is in Chase Center, and the food here, guys, if you could smell this.
You know what the good food
1 minute back.
Okay, so we've got 1 minute back. I am trying to find this. Let me see if I can find.
Okay. I'm getting texts from the office already. Bring some food into the office. Like, come on, guys.
All right, and I just also want to make sure. Thank you, Rochelle. Here we go. Ooh, we're getting the truffle shavings as well, folks. This is. I apologize, folks. I got your quotes here. Frisco native 415. Klay looked really good. Yes. Katrina Marks, team is going to need to work together. Agreed. And I apologize, Starman, for teasing you. My bad. Whew. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini Sleep World. Monte, Poole here with Zena, Keita. We have been treated like royalty here at Miller and Lux. If you haven't been here, this is the Tyler Florence concept that's right outside of Chase Center. You want a luxury dining experience?
Oh boy.
Here's your example. We've got bone marrow and look at this tomahawk
steak.
Tomahawk steak right here, carrying, unbelievably carrying the backbone of this meat right now. And it actually makes me think of Klay Thompson tonight. So I want to bring him back up. I think he's someone that when we think about what the Warriors have been needing in terms of firepower off the bench, it used to be Jonathan Kuminga before he was shifted into that starting rotation.
Right.
But then Klay Thompson tonight being able to come in, start hot, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and then be able to be consistent throughout the game. He was a little quiet in the third.
Yes.
But hit some big time shots in that fourth quarter. What did you make of the way that what have you made of the way that he's fed into this role of being off the bench Klay?
Yeah, I think Klay in the 6-man role is perfect for him right now at this stage of his career. He has been one of those guys who, for most of his career, he's been a two-way player, an all-star caliber player, 5-time all-star, deserving every time, 4-time champion. But at this stage of his career, with the injuries he has sustained, he simply can't defend as versatility as with the versatility he once did.
That's right.
He used to be able to guard 3 or 4 positions. Now he can't guard the little guys. They're too quick, and we understand why. But offensively, when you're the 6th man and you come in with Chris Paul is going to be the guy who sets you up. Your job is to get buckets. And I think Klay can still do that. He's shown he can do that since he's been at the 6th man, shooting over 40% from 3, and so the buckets are falling for him. Tonight he was 9 of 21, which isn't a great percentage, but again, he hit some timely threes, and without him, the Warriors lose by double digits.
Right, and I think it's the importance of the timing of his threes, which is really, really key.
Yes.
And great timing for us. He's actually at the podium, so let's hear what he had to say about tonight's loss.
Steve Kerr said maybe it was last night that he has 2 Hall of Famers coming off the bench, and you and Chris Paul, and just continue to have whoever else needs to step in, right?
Absolutely, strength in numbers.
Did you ask Steph much about the ankle? Did you get any sense?
Not really, because if he is out, unfortunate, but it's part of the length of the season. It's hard to play every game, especially not have any minor injuries, and we'll make up. We'll do well without him. We can rely on our history and how to execute without him.
To follow on that, just what did you think of the way you guys executed tonight after you left the floor?
I thought Moses and JK were great, especially Moses, his on-ball defense and putbacks, his ability to pester the ball handler. And then JK as well. He did make a mistake jumping on DeMar's pump fake, but we trust him in that situation 10 times out of 10. And that energy they brought was infectious, and we look forward to having a nice bounce back on Saturday.
Klay, Steve said one of the keys to the game tonight was the discrepancy in the 3 ball falling. When it's not going the way you guys want it to, is that frustrating out there? Do you feel it? Is there anything you can do during the game to try to turn it around?
It's frustrating when you miss any shot, especially when you expect them all to go in. That's life. And what you can do when the shot isn't falling from the perimeter is move the ball a little more and penetrate the lane and try and get to the free throw line or a couple easy looks at the rim, and that usually opens up plenty of catch-and-shoot opportunities from 3.
One not related to the game. Earlier tonight, you gave a custom wheelchair or basketball wheelchair to a girl from the Bay Area. How was that for you, just seeing her excitement to receive that chair?
Cece, that was really cool, and it was really cool to have her and her teammates support. They love the Warriors, and that's what it's all about, is being able to give back to the youth and try and inspire them. And that was probably my favorite moment of the season, just seeing how happy she was and how excited she was with the new chair she had, and she loves to hoop, so that was really a special moment, and I'll cherish that for life.
That was really special to be able to see some of those pregame interactions that the players get from all around the world, all around the country. Coming to see them before the games, it puts things into perspective a little bit. Guys, we are eating some phenomenal food here at Miller and Lux, and what I love, it's really warm and flavorful. It's just so good. I'm really loving the truffle fries. I also just learned that the Michelin Guide named their hamburger here the best hamburger in the country. So,
wow.
Shout out to Miller and Lux with that.
Well, the steak is really good, I know.
The steak is amazing. The fries are amazing. I forgot what this is, but it's amazing.
Tuna tartare is good.
Tuna tartare, that's right. Now, you know who else was amazing? Draymond Green. Draymond Green finished with a triple-double, his first of the season, being able to have 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. I mean, phenomenal performance out from him, doing all the things necessary. 11 points and 12 assists.
Yeah.
But got that at the 10-10-10 mark, which is really great. What did you make of Draymond Green's way of doing all the things necessary for the Warriors?
Well, Draymond would in a heartbeat, give those stats back for a win.
Yeah.
Understand that about him. You know, he's about winning, and the numbers, he probably tell you, I don't give a bleep about that right now because we lost the game. But once again, you see his value on a nightly basis. And he's one of those guys that he sets your defense up. And again, like I said, he'll probably look at himself and say that bad defense in the second and third quarters is on me. But that's not fair. But he takes it that way. To him, that's what he says. Yep. And that helps the other guys, okay, Draymond will be the leader because he's been that guy. Defense has been so good for this team. It's one of the reasons why they've made this surge.
Yep.
Tonight, it abandoned them in the second and third quarters. Draymond, though, defended pretty well for the most part. I thought he was a little soft on Vučević. But, when you get 12 assists, 11 rebounds, you're doing some things to help your team win the game. It wasn't enough.
When you think about what Draymond has to do in order to be in the paint, guarding Vučević, and then directing everyone outside as a DeMar DeRozan's trying to come up the middle and people are trying to cut through.
Right.
And there's shooters on the outside. How difficult is that for him to be able to manage all of that?
There's probably no more than 2 or 3 guys in the league that can do that. I've seen Draymond in one possession guard all 5 players on the other team. I've seen it happen in the past where he moves around so much. And so when you assign Draymond to one person, it kind of takes a little bit away from what he does best because he wants to be able to have that latitude to kind of roam a little bit and sort of wreck opposing offenses, which he does really well. Tonight, I thought there were so many things going on, and the Bulls are pretty good. I mean, they're not a horrible team. They're a good offensive team when they get it going, and tonight they got it going. And they stayed in, and again, they were tough. So Draymond did his best. He did his part to try and get this team a win. Wasn't enough, but, you look around, a lot of guys didn't quite play at their usual standard.
Well, the Chicago Bulls were under the Warriors in every statistical category coming into this game. But the one thing that they did really well, hustle plays, deflections. They're number 6 in the league in that category, and you saw that come to life. So expect that sort of defense coming out of the Bulls as they go on with the rest of their season, and something that the Warriors definitely have to work on as they continue in their season. When we come back from this break, we're going to look ahead to see who else will be coming into to Chase Center to be able to show that they can take down the Warriors too.
Yeah, do that, man.
Alrighty, folks, we've got.
Take 2 pieces.
Our producer is trying to manage us here in the midst of all of this, but Scott, our camera guy, getting in the mix of this. I want to hear your perspective and feedback as well on this.
Dig in.
Let's see here. Just looking at the comments, if we can get ourselves into 45-plus wins, we should be good. From Katrina Marks. Team almost pulled it out, but DeRozan caught fire. That's exactly right. Bulls are not going to make it to the playoffs this year. They have way too many injuries. They actually do. Looking at that pregame list of everything that they had in terms of injuries, it was like 6 players out, questionable, out. Andre Drummond was questionable going into tonight and was able to finally play.
Andre helped him on the boards. He always does that. He's a rebounder.
Yeah.
1 minute back.
There's some calls for Guy Santos to get some more minutes. He is feeling better. I talked to him about his knee. It was a little inflamed, but he said that he's doing well. He's getting better day by day.
He told me before they went on the road trip that it would be about a week, and he was exactly right.
And he was about right, exactly right. That's good. He's been another person. I mean, this whole team is really tuned into their care of their bodies, and Steph Curry is the one leading the way on that. Alrighty. I know we got some people that are in Hungary. Nelson Pham, why wasn't Wiggins in to guard DeRozan? Good question. It's one of the questions I had pregame about how he was to be used against the big guards. We're going to let Monte.
In the past, Klay and DeRozan, they grew up together. I mean, they played against each other in high school out of LA.
Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini's Sleep World. Monte, Poole, and Zena, Keita. We are in Miller and Lux, having a little bit of a Thursday night date night as we look into what's going up next for the Warriors. Here's the schedule. San Antonio Spurs coming into town, and then the Warriors go to their parts of town out in Texas. San Antonio Spurs almost beat the Kings tonight without Wembanyama, who has been out with an injury. They're contending. It seems as if this is the part of the season where every single team realizes how imperative it is to get wins, even if you're not making the playoffs.
The Spurs are spoiler. Yeah, that's what they are. They're in a spoiler mode. They're not going to win. They're not going to make the playoffs. They understand that. For them, this is a development season.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's what they are. And so it's unfortunate that Wembanyama is not expected to play here on Saturday. I wanted to see him play.
I know.
They hope he'll be ready to play when the Warriors go to Texas on Monday. But that road trip, you don't want to jump too far ahead.
Right.
That road trip is going to be huge.
One game at a time for the Warriors for tonight. 122-125 loss against the Chicago Bulls. Going to need to bounce back. Again, they've got another home game, so don't go anywhere, folks. They'll be back at Chase Center. We'll be here at Chase Center, right outside of it at least, at Miller and Lux, enjoying the rest of our food.
I got a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
How important is it that they have Steph back as soon as possible?
Incredibly important.
That's what I thought.
All right, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. We're going to enjoy the rest of this food. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Monte, Zena, it's been Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini's Sleep World. Have a great night. All right.
YouTube.
It's interesting that there are some teams that go into spoiler mode. Mm-hmm. Right, where it's like, we're not going to win anything, but we'll ruin your season.
That's right.
And we'll learn how to play well at the end of seasons, where everyone's supposed to be ramping things up. First of all, Scott, review.
Very good, very good. You got to come check it out.
You guys have to come check this out. This place is amazing.
The
after
Spurs,
a concert, after a game, Miller and Lux, folks.
You look at the Spurs and they go into Sacramento and have a chance. I mean, the Kings are one of the teams the Warriors are trying to pass.
Yep.
And so is Dallas. So this is hurting because the Kings win tonight, the Mavericks win tonight.
Right.
And so the Warriors lose a game on both of those teams. If they had won this game, they would have been able to stay abreast. But again, you can't do anything about it now. Right. You got 21 games to go. They still have to get to 48, 49 wins, I think, at least to 48 to have a chance to get that in the top 6.
In the top 6, do you have a problem if they make it to just the play-in?
Ooh, that's not what they want. I think they can survive that if they get 7 or 8. One win and you're in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that becomes a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
It's a one and out. It could be one game, and so you don't want to even have to deal with that. If you're 9 or 10, it really is one loss and you go home.
Yeah.
But ideally, yeah, they're shooting for 5 and 6, and if they play the way they've been playing, they've won 12 or 16 now. If they win That's 75%. If they win 75% of the rest of their games, they're going to be 15 more wins, 16 more wins. That puts them at 48.
There you go.
That gives them a shot to be top 6.
Okay. So crazy that there used to be a time where you needed much less games to be able to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is the truth of the NBA and the concept of parity, folks. Things are getting very exciting and ramped up here at Chase Center for the Warriors. We are going to chill out and eat this food and, move on from this game, just like the Warriors, I'm sure, are. We appreciate you guys joining our family on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Keep your fingers crossed for number 30.
Yes, that's right. Keep your fingers crossed, of course. Stay up to date. NBC Sports Bay Area will give you all the updates they have as they have it on Steph Curry and the Warriors. All right, thanks for joining us tonight. Enjoy your evening. We're going to enjoy this food.